And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening po sa inyong lahat, wherever you may be. But of course, good evening po sa lahat ng mga kaguru natin na nandiyan ngayon sa Pilipinas. We are back for our discussion tonight of all the items that you've had in your test yesterday or last night. So we are going to start with general education. That's 20 items for general education. And of course, exclusive materials for this would all go straight to grow. But before I go any further, of course, we are going to start with our Panimulang Panalangin or our opening prayer. And this is, of course, prepared by Ma'am Eunice Carbajal. So I invite all of you to please join me as we start with our opening prayer.
Panginoon, maraming salamat po sa araw na to na pinagkaloob niyo pong muli sa amin. Aming dalangin po na samahan niyo nga po kami sa gabing ito sa aming pagre-review at hayaan mo nga pong bigyan mo po kami ng patuloy na biyaya sa aming mga personal na buhay. Maraming salamat kay Mek na laging nandyan para turuan kami. At muli, sa inyo ko na nga po ibinibigay, sa inyo na namin po ibinibigay ang lahat ng papurit pa sa salamat sa isang buong linggo na naman, Panginoon, na binigay niyo sa amin. Ikaw na po ang bahala ngayong gabi. And this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Alright, so again, atin pong pinasasalamatan si Ma'am Eunice for preparing our opening prayer and of course our closing prayer every Sunday. Alright, so again, we said we are going to start with general education and we have 20 items to discuss for general education today. And right after that, of course, we have a separate live stream for our professional education discussion. Now again, as you see on your screen, exclusive materials all go straight to Grow. Grow is Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group, and this is our exclusive FB group where we send all the exclusive materials that we have, not only those items and its answer key, the ones that we discuss through our live stream, but also other materials that we know can help you pass the let. We are studying Gurong Pinoy, and we've been in this business for many years already. We've helped let takers pass the let, not only let takers. We were also the #1 civil service examination review center in Visayas, okay? And so we know how to help you pass the let. If you just trust Gurong Pinoy, we can give you the title of LPT. Just be dedicated, just be hardworking, just always follow Gurong Pinoy, okay? With me saying that, please don't forget to like this video if you're watching us on YouTube. Please like this video of ours on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, then make sure that you react to this video, heart, what else? Like, or share this video, start a watch party, tag your friends so that we can help them. We can also help them pass the let. Okay, we can also help them prepare for your upcoming exam. Okay, now not just on Facebook and YouTube, we are also found on Instagram. So please also follow us on Instagram. On Instagram, we are at Gurong Pinoy PH. And on TikTok, please do follow us, all TikTok tourists. We only have maybe 5 followers as of the moment on TikTok. So please go to TikTok later and also follow Gurong Pinoy. We are at Gurong Pinoy on TikTok. Okay, so that is our Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group. That's Grow. And it is very easy for you to become a member of Grow. You can just pay through Palawan, Cebuana, and ML. All the important details are on the screen. You can also send your payment through a super sticker during our live stream on YouTube. Okay, the 500 pesos po is a one-time payment. Again, 500 pesos is a one-time payment. You don't need to pay monthly, don't need to pay 5,000 as what other review centers would ask you. That's only 500 pesos. That's one-time payment, and that's until you take the let. Okay, that's for our Grow. That's Gurong Pinoy Review Online Work Group. Now, last night, we have received a very important news, a very good news, and that is reaching 10,000 followers. This is on Facebook. Okay, so we already have 10,000 followers on Facebook, which means that we can already soon have in-stream ads on Facebook. So we just have to set up the details that we have on Facebook that we can already have in-stream ads. And so because of this, we offer you a good news too. Okay, we would like to give back to you because, of course, you are the ones who follow us. You are the ones who support Gurong Pinoy. And because we have reached 10,000 followers on Facebook, we are going to have 50% discount for Grow. That's 50% discount for Grow. So you don't have to pay 500 pesos. You only need to pay 250 pesos for 10 days. Okay, the promo is only good for 10 days. Today is the 4th of October. That's the 4th of October in the Philippines. We are going to start the promo in the Philippines on October 5th. Okay, so October 5th until October 15th, you can just become a part of Grow by just paying 250 pesos. Okay, so the same details, you send your payment to my sister-in-law. The details were seen in your screen a while ago, so this one. But instead of paying 500, you can just pay 250 pesos. Again, the promo is until the 15th of October, okay, just for 10 days. Then, of course, right after that, right after paying, just send us your receipt through a private message on Gurong Pinoy's FB page, and we will then add you to Grow. Okay? All right, so without any further ado, I think you're all ready for our discussion tonight. Again, please don't forget to react to this video, share this video, start a watch party, and of course, like this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Some people on YouTube have not liked this video yet. Again, please do like this video, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram. That's at Gurong Pinoy PH, and also on TikTok. That's at Gurong Pinoy. Okay. I hope that you do follow us later. All right. So we start with your discussion. For question number 1, general education, check your own paper, no cheating. And of course, right after our discussion, please do reply your score in the comment that you've left last night, okay? So that we'll know who our top 10 scorers are. All right, so we start with question number 1 for general education. Who was the father of modern taxonomy and responsible for coining the term Homo sapiens for human? Okay, what is your answer for question number 1? Yes, before I forget to know, Happy Teacher's Day po sa lahat. Thank you, Ma'am Mary Jean Martirez Jaime, for reminding me. Ma'am Lizelle Bolivar Libuon, thank you for starting a watch party. Ma'am Mary Shane Alevon, thank you po for starting a watch party. Thanks for sharing our video, Ma'am Regen Ponce. Okay, again, please do share our video, start a watch party, tag your friends, Ma'am Fineza Soul, and yes, Ma'am Mary Jean Martirez Jaime. Thank you for starting a watch party. All right, now a lot of the people on YouTube are answering with the letter D. Kahit dito sa Facebook, ganun din, no? Letter D din yung answer. Thank you, Ma'am Vil, Slofar Bolok-Bolok, Ma'am Ainalem Coreses Penamante, Ma'am Shali Baluyot for starting a watch party. Okay, so again, question number 1, who was the father of modern taxonomy and responsible for coining the term Homo sapiens for human? Okay, Homo sapiens for human. Now, we know that taxonomy is the scientific classification of things. Okay, so this is where we have the domains, kingdoms, phylums, class, etc. Of course, is the father of the 3 laws of motion. Okay, so that's Isaac Newton. He was a very important scientist during his time. No, he was very short. And then he said he has never been kissed, never been touched. He died a virgin. Okay, that's Isaac Newton. Mendel, of course, Gregor Mendel, is the father of genetics. Okay, he started the study of genetics, the study of heredity. Einstein, of course, we all know Lolo Einstein. He's one of the most popular scientists that we have, modern scientists that we have. He's also a genius, okay, but he's a college dropout, okay? So Einstein, of course, he gave us the theory of relativity, okay? But the correct answer for this one would be Linnaeus, okay? So that's Carolus Linnaeus, Carl Linnea, and he is known as the father of modern taxonomy, gave us all the classification of living things or all of our organisms. So letter D, Linnaeus is the correct answer. All right, number 1, letter D. Okay, now we go to number 2. What are the small hair-like structures that serve a sensory function in eukaryotic cells? What's your answer for question number 2? Thank you so much, Ma'am Marilyn E. Cortez, for tagging your friends. Likewise to Ma'am Vil. Thank you for tagging your friends. Ma'am Shanjana Bansiliusop, thank you po for starting a watch party. The same thing for Sir Ronnie Kilikon. Thank you po. All right, now many of the people on YouTube are answering with letter D for question number 2. Okay, what about those people on Facebook? Ma'am Jeremy Vivelarde, thank you for starting a watch party. Okay, so people on Facebook are also answering with letter D, and that is the correct answer. Okay, so Celia po is the correct answer. Those are the small hair-like structures that serve a sensory function in eukaryotic cells. So before I go to our Celia, when you say eukaryotic cells, remember there are 2 types of cells. This is in science. When you say eukaryotic cells, these are the modern day cells that we have. So eukaryotic cells, these are the cells that have nucleus, and they also have membrane-bound organelles. This is in contrast to our prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells do not have nucleus, and they also do not have membrane-bound organelles. Okay, tandaan nyo po yan, prokaryotic, no nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotic, may nucleus and may membrane-bound organelles. This is very common in the lab. But of course, our answer for number 2 is letter D, Celia. Okay, so this is a picture of our paramecium here. Okay, paramecium is an example of a protist. Ito po yung mga nakikita nyo sa imburnal, no? And the arrow there, the line is pointing at our cilia. Okay, so cilia po, those are the small hair-like structures that serve a sensory function in your paramecium. It's a eukaryotic cell. It has nucleus and it has membrane-bound organelles. Now, plasma membrane is just the cell membrane, the boundary of a cell. Actin filaments, these are protein filaments in your cell. Centromere naman, if you have a chromosome nga is the genetic information of a child, genetic information of a cell is found in your chromosome. Ito po yung dinidivide during cellular division. If you have a chromosome, centromere is just part of your chromosome. So, nandito po yung centromere. Okay, that's the central part of your chromosome. Okay, but of course, for number 2, the correct answer is letter D. That's cilia. Cilia. All right. Now, what about number 3? Oh, I forgot to include an animation. So, nakikita nyo na yung answer. For number 3, the question is, what are the thin structures essential for cytokinesis, amoeboid movement, and changes in cell shape? You can see the answer already. Okay, that's letter B, microfilaments. Microfilaments po is the correct answer for number 3. Okay, again for number 3, that would be letter B, microfilaments. Okay, thin structures essential for cytokinesis. When you say cytokinesis, this is the division of the cytoplasm of a cell. Amoeboid movement, this is the movement in your amoeba. And changes in cell shape. The correct answer would be microfilaments. So siya po yung gumagawa ng cleavage furrow sa ating animal cells. And then eventually, of course, the cells will be divided. The daughter cells will be divided. Microfilaments, that's the correct answer for question number 3. Sir Ayanga Baraga, thank you for starting a watch party. Likewise to Sir Larry Librando, thank you po. All right, now we go to number 4. What is the process used by plants to convert the energy from sunlight into chemical energy? Bonus na ito sa inyo. Okay, bonus na ito sa inyo. Anong answer nyo for question number 4? Ma'am Fatima Dipantar, thank you po for sharing our video. Ma'am Cindy, thank you for starting a watch party. Ma'am Yas Pangumaan, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ganon din kay Ma'am Bem Cristobal, thank you po. All right, now question number 4. What is the process used by plants to convert the energy from sunlight into chemical energy. Okay, so sabi nyo bonus na to, elementary to. And this is, of course, letter A, that's photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the correct answer for question number 4. Thank you so much for those people who are starting a watch party on Facebook. Sir Glenn Garcia, Ma'am Christine Altamia, Ma'am Ameline Linga. Maraming salamat po. Ma'am Mary Rose Lucido. All right, now we proceed to question number 5. Question number 5, the molecules that contain an organism's genetic makeup is called. Is it letter A, genetic membrane, letter B, nucleolus, letter C, nucleic acid, or letter D, cytosol? Sir Arman Garcia, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ma'am Kabigen, Junadette Kilikot, thank you for starting a watch party. Ma'am Janelle Morillo, maraming salamat po. All right, so again, number 5, the molecules that contain an organism's genetic makeup is called what? Now, many people on Facebook, on YouTube are answering the letter C. Meron din namang letter A, no? So they're torn between letter A and C. Okay, dito naman sa Facebook, karamihan sa kanila ay letter C po ang sagot. Okay, again, the question is the molecules that contain an organism's genetic makeup is called. Your hint here, of course, is the term molecule. Okay, isa siyang molecule. So meaning it's a substance. Is it your genetic membrane? This is just a membrane of the cell. Nucleolus, nucleic acid, or cytosol? Cytosol to dapat, hindi cytosol. Okay, it should be letter O, not A. Now, of course, the correct answer here would be your nucleic acid. There are 2 types of nucleic acid, your RNA and your DNA. And of course, out of these 2 types of nucleic acid, DNA is your genetic material in the cell. Okay, genetic material po natin is called your DNA or the oxyribonucleic acid. Your RNA, ribonucleic acid, of course, this is very important in making of proteins. Okay, but of course, the correct answer for number 5 is letter C. That's the nucleic acid. Ang nucleolus mo naman po, that's just a part of the cell, a spherical structure inside the nucleus of the cell, and it also helps make ribosomes, which in turn make proteins. Okay, if you still don't know these different parts of the cell, we have 3 videos about the cell in our YouTube channel. Okay, so make sure that you check that because this is one favorite topic of the lab. Okay, yung cell po, lahat ng parts ng cell, favorite topic siya ng lab. So make sure that you check our video on that. We have 3 videos about the cell sa atin pong YouTube channel. Okay, but for number 5, of course, the correct answer is letter C. Letter C, nucleic acid. All right, now we go to number 6. This is still science. Predation is a relationship exemplified by an orchid attached to the trunk of a narrow tree, a hunter shooting a duck in the forest and having it for dinner. Letter C, a tapeworm living in the gastrointestinal tract of a toddler. Or letter D, a clownfish living within a sea anemone. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 6? Ma'am Ray Ann Francisco, thank you so much for starting a watch party. Ma'am Marilyn Cortez, yes, I think I've already mentioned Ma'am Marilyn Cortez. Thank you for sharing our video. Ma'am Yas Pangumaan, Sir Jim B. Morrisvilles. Okay, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ligwak, sabi ni Ma'am Shanjana. Watching from Digo City, Davao del Sur, Sir Larry Librando. Ma'am Majorie Balatanto Jonos. Or Sir, si Sir yata to, Sir Majorie Balatanto Jonos. Thank you for starting a watch party po. Ma'am Aiza Peralta, thank you for starting a watch party. Janelle Bame, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ma'am Dayan Cardiel, ganun din po. Marami pong salamat. Okay. Watching from Calamba City, Laguna, Sir Gier Driz. From Cavite, Ma'am April Red. All right, so again, number 6, predation is a relationship exemplified by. Now remember, we have several types of relationships, ecological relationships in an ecosystem. Common na po dito yung symbiosis na tinatawag natin. I will be making a video on that, so abangan nyo po yan. Please do make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, of course, follow our Instagram and TikTok, so that you can be notified of our new videos. I will be making a video on the symbiotic relationships. But of course, predation is not part of a symbiotic relationship. In predation po, when you say predation, there is a predator, yung kumakain, at merong prey, ang kinakain. So sa inyong dalawa, ano ka, predator ka ba? Or are you the prey? Nangangain ka ba? Or ikaw ba yung kinakain? Okay, so again, predation, there's a predator, the organism that eats, and there's a prey, the organism that is eaten. And of course, the correct answer here would be letter B. That's a hunter shooting a duck in the forest and having it for dinner. Okay, that's the correct answer for number 6. An orchid attached to the trunk of a tree. This is commensalism. Again, I will not be going into details about this because I will be making a video on this. So, abangan niyo na lamang po yung video. A tapeworm living in the gastrointestinal tract of a toddler. Ito po ay parasitism. Okay, so parasite po ang tapeworm. Ito po yung tinatawag nating lugay, no? And of course, letter D, a clownfish living within a sea anemone. This one would be mutualism, okay? Or sometimes it can also be considered commensalism. Hindi affected yung sea anemone mo. Okay, so the correct answer here would be number 6 is letter B. Letter B po. Okay, now we go to number 7. This is category math. What percent of 75 is 15? What's your answer? Good Eve from Lopez, Quezon, Ma'am Mercedita Macapagal. Both, ha? So sa inyong dalawa sa relationship nyo, both predator and prey ka. Ay, yung friend mo yung parasite. Okay, what's the correct answer for number 7? A lot of your answer letter B on YouTube. Sir Benedict Adonias, thank you po for starting a watch party. Watching from Dasmariñas, Cavite, Sir Alan Alcantara. From Lapu-Lapu, Cebu City, Sir Jonos. Mamias Pangoman, thank you for tagging a friend. From Taguig City, Ma'am Sai Francisco, thank you po for starting a watch party. From Carcar City, Cebu, Sir Ian Gab Baraga. Ma'am Rayan Francisco, thank you po for sharing or for starting watch party. Maraming salamat po. From Cavite, Sir Curson Yanan. Ma'am Mia Iris Gonzalez Florante and Sir Curson, thank you po for starting a watch party and also for tagging your friend. Si Ma'am Mia, no, nagtag din siya ng kanyang friend. Shout out sa lahat ng kukuha ng LET board exam, lalo na sa Municipality of Capoocan, Leyte. That's coming from Ma'am Igano Caloy. Ma'am Monina LR Kalang, thank you for starting a watch party. All right, now we continue again. What percent of 75 is 15? Okay, if you are going to make a math sentence or a mathematical sentence on this, that should be blank percent of 75. Again, I've already told you, of in math is times, okay? Of is times or multiplication. Blank percent times 75 and is in math is equal. Okay, so that means that's the equal sign. Of here would mean multiplied. Okay, so blank percent times 75 equals 15. So that is the same way as saying 75x equals 15. 75x, but po 75x because we are multiplying something here, our x or our unknown, by 75. Kaya ginawa na lang natin 75x equals 15. And of course, for us to isolate x, we need to divide both sides by 75. Okay, so we divide both sides by 75. In doing that, of course, the 75 on this side here will be canceled. And we'll have x equals 15 divided by 75. So 15 divided by 75, that would be 0.2, or making this into your rate, with percentage, that would be 20%. Okay, so 20%. Letter B is the correct answer for question number 7. Number 7 po, that's letter B. Okay, now we go to number 8. All right angles are parallel, supplementary, oblique, or equal. Watching from Puerto Princesa City, Ma'am Rose Cayapas. From Bicol, Ma'am Rose Ann Etchage. From Capiz, Ma'am Maika. Okay, so karamihan sa inyo ay tama in question number 7. From Sultan Kudarat, we have Ma'am Bam Cristobal. Watching from Kalinga, Ma'am Bradel Gainawan de la Cruz. Thank you din po for starting a watch party. Si Sir, akala ko kasi si Sir Igano Caloy. Sorry po, si Sir Roel Season Igano pala siya. So Sir pala ito si Sir Igano Caloy. Babae po kasi nasa profile pic ni Sir. Asawa yata ni Sir. From Yagao, Ma'am Charning Nieles, very near my town. Si Sir Cielo Canencia, maraming salamat po for starting a watch party. Okay, Davao City, we have Ma'am Apple May Mahumot. Okay, now anong tamang sagot dito? Marami sa inyo, your answer is letter D. On YouTube, dito sa ating Facebook, ganun din. Karamihan yung answer is letter D. Maraming salamat for starting a watch party, Sir Joseph Edradan Salamagos and Ma'am Aisel Atienza. Thank you po. Okay, now all right angles are, if your choice is letter A po, of course, this is not for the angles. Letter A, when you say parallel, these are lines, okay? So parallel lines, of course, are lines that can get very near each other but will never meet, okay? Parang kayo, pinagtagpo pero hindi tinadhana, no? So they will meet, they come very close to each other, but they will never meet. They cannot traverse each other. Okay, so that's your parallel line. Supplementary mo naman, when you say supplementary angles, these are two angles whose sum would equal 180. Okay, whose sum would be equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so if you have a supplementary angle or you have supplementary angles, that means their sum equals 180 degrees. So for example, you have 120 plus 60 degrees. That means they are supplementary angles because their sum would of course be equal to 180 degrees. Now when you say oblique naman, ito natin sa oblique angles in photography. You do this when you tilt your camera, and so what happens is that your focus or your subject becomes skewed. Okay, so that's your oblique angles. But of course, the correct answer here, number 8, all right angles are equal, and we know that all right angles are equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so 90 degrees po. That means number 8, that's letter D, equal. Okay, letter D po, equal. Now we go to number 9. The side opposite the right angle of a right triangle is a blank, and each of the other two sides is a blank. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 9? Watching from Cotabato City, Ma'am Shenglin Tan Maghanoy. Happy Teacher's Day, Ma'am Mek. That's coming from Ma'am Kezel and Alarba. She used to be our student. Thank you po, Ma'am Kezel. From Hong Kong. Thank you daw, nakaabot siya sa live. Ma'am Jenny Ann Gamboa Sarmiento. Watching from Pakistan, thank you for starting a watch party. Our Pakistani friend, Sir Usman Aziz. Sir Glenn Garcia from Lingayen, Pangasinan, thank you po for sharing our video. And of course, for starting a watch party. Ma'am Anafe Kilisadio, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ma'am Charny Nieles, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ma'am Michelle Barrientos, ganun din. Ma'am Anafe Kilisadio, maraming salamat po. Watching from Libagon, Southern Leyte, Ma'am Cecile Giliera Grabillo. Sir Rainer Rojo Diezmo, thank you po for starting a watch party. From Pangasinan, we have Sir Glenn Garcia. Okay, going back to your question here, the side opposite the right angle of a right triangle is the blank, and each of the other two sides is a blank. And now many of you here on YouTube are answering with letter A. On Facebook, many people are also answering with the letter A. And of course, letter A, that's the correct answer, okay? Hypotenuse and leg, okay? So the side opposite the right angle of a right triangle, if you have a right triangle, of course, this is a type of triangle that has a right angle. We have just discussed what a right angle is, and we said a right angle is an angle which is equal to 90 degrees, okay? So this, of course, in your illustration, we can say that this is a right triangle because it has a right angle there, okay? It has a 90-degree angle. And the statement here says the side opposite the right angle of a right triangle, of course, that's your hypotenuse. That's the longest leg of your triangle. And each of the other two sides is a leg, okay? So letter A, that's the correct answer. All right, now we go to question number 10, still math. A 10-meter board leans against the wall. The foot of the board is 8 meters from the wall. How far up the wall does the board reach? Is it letter A, 10 meters, letter B, 6 meters, letter C, 4 meters, letter D, 8 meters? Watching from Pampanga, Ma'am, or Sir MCU? Watching from COVID capital of the Philippines, Metro Manila, Sir Viodolo Baig. Okay, number 10, many people on YouTube are answering letter B. Happy Teacher's Day from Dasmariñas, Cavite. That's coming from Ma'am Maricel Alcantara on YouTube. Hi sa taga Cotabato City. That's from Norhana Ismael on YouTube. Watching from Pagadian City, Ma'am RV Joy Tulod. Okay, many people are answering letter B on YouTube. Watching in University of Mindanao, Digos College, Digos City, Sir Larry Librando. From KSA, hello po, Sir Annalise Bry. I used to teach in Saudi Arabia then. Watching from Tacloban City, Leyte, Ma'am Emma Rose Margate. Maraming salamat po for starting a watch party. Ganon din kay Ma'am Jean Mary Bohos, Austria, Ma'am Emma Rose Margate, Sir Edward Garcia. Okay, so maraming salamat po. Sir Annalise Bry for starting a watch party. Sir Rainer Rojo Diezmo. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now sabi dito, a 10-meter board leans against the wall. Okay, so if you are going to have an illustration or you are going to have a visual on this would be your board. Ito po yung board mo, and this would be the wall. Okay, so and then it says, your problem states, the board is 10 meter long. Okay, so that means it should be 10 meters. And it leans against the wall. The foot of the board is 8 meters from the wall. So if this is your wall, the foot of your board is here, and it is 8 meters away from the wall. So that means this should be 8 meters here. How far up the wall does the board reach? Okay, so we are looking for this here. Okay, we're looking for this side here or this leg here, and we are looking for the height, okay, that the wall reaches on, or the board reaches on the wall. Now, of course, here we are going to use your Pythagorean theorem, okay, Pythagoras theorem, which is C squared equals A squared plus B squared. That means the sum of the squares of your sides would be equal to the square of your hypotenuse. Okay, so C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And if we are going to substitute all the things that we have here, your c squared, of course, your c here, or your hypotenuse, that's 10 meters. So that means 10 squared equals a squared. We're looking for a, plus b here, our value is 8. Okay, plus 8 squared. Okay, now getting the square of your 10, okay, or raising them to the power of 2. 10 raised to the second power, that's 100. Then, of course, 8 raised to the second power, that's 8 times 8. That would give us 64. Okay, so we have 100 equals a squared plus 64. For us to isolate a squared, of course, we need to move 64 to the other side. So what we're going to do is, of course, to subtract 64 from both sides. On this side here, we just cancel that 64, and we are left with 100 minus 64 equals a squared. 100 minus 64, of course, is 36, and that's equal to a squared. If we want to get the value of a, of course, we need to get the square root of both sides. Okay, so we need to get the square root of both sides, which means a, the square root of 36, that would give us 6. Okay, so the correct answer po would be letter B, 6 meters. Letter B, 6 meters, that's the correct answer. Okay, so number 10 po, letter B. Watching from Buldon, Maguindanao, Sir Najib H. Bayan. Okay, so number 10, that's letter B, 6 meters. Now, number 11, social studies. Which religious missionary order first arrived in the Philippines? Is it letter A, Augustinian, letter B, Dominican, letter C, Jesuit, or letter D, Franciscan? Sir Ramil Kwambot, thank you po for starting a watch party. Sir or Mama Lupon, thank you for starting a watch party. Sir Sean Anthony Larazi, thank you po for starting a watch party. Okay, now what's your answer for number 11? Many of you on YouTube are answering letter A. Dito sa Facebook, ganun din. And letter A, of course, that's the correct answer for number 11. Okay, so the first missionary order that arrived were the Augustinians. So Augustinians po, 1565. Kasama nila si Legazpi, of course. And what followed was the Franciscans, followed by the Jesuits. Jesuits po, your priests in Ateneo. Those are Jesuit priests. And of course, the last one would be Dominicans. Okay, so Dominicans po would be the last one. Now, if you'd want to get a hint on how to remember this very easily, you can just think that the first part, for the first part, you are using alphabetical order. So A, then F, then J. And of course, D here would be the last one. Okay, so except for your Dominicans, they're the last missionary order. So Augustinians, Franciscans, and Jesuits. Then the last missionary order, it's the Dominicans. Okay, but of course, for number 11, the correct answer is letter A, Augustinian. All right, now we go to number 12. Which law set a full free trade policy abolishing the quota limitations on Philippine import to the United States? Is it letter A, the Payne-Aldrich Act? Letter B, Bell Trade. Letter C, Underwood-Simmons Act. Letter D, Hare-Hawes Cutting Act. Okay. Thank you for sharing our video, Marilyn Cortez. Watching from Misamis Occidental, Sir Soy S.E. Esoy. Ma'am Gretchen Miranda Dala, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ganun din kay Sir Joel Paelmao. Maraming salamat po. Yung Kyo, thank you for starting a watch party. Sir Sean Anthony Larazi, ganun din po. Thank you for starting a watch party. Likewise to Ma'am Jessadine Faustino. Ma'am Michelle Barrientos, thank you po. Nabisi pala si Sir Yung Kyo. Okay, so he's teaching in Thailand. Medyo nabisi daw siya. And so he wasn't watching from Digo City. Thank you for starting a watch party. Sir Nino Vincent Rojo. Sir Soy E. Esoy. Maraming salamat po. Greetings from Thailand. That's from Sir Yung Kyo. Okay, now there is some information here coming from Sister Rosalyn Humuwad, who's also one of our mga kaguro, no? Si Sister Rosalyn Humuwad. Sabi niya meron pa pong last direct collects. Okay, so this is according to your missionary order. Sabi ni Sister Rosalyn Humuwad, the recollects, or okay, the recollects, no, Recoletos to, no? Sila po yung last missionary na pumunta sa Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po, Sister Rosalyn, for our additional info tonight. Greetings from Bohol, Ma'am Malupon. Okay, number 12, ano po yung sagot nyo dito? Which law set a full free trade policy abolishing the quota limitations on Philippine import to the United States? For your Payne-Aldrich Act, this is the free entry to the United States of all Philippine products except rice, sugar, and tobacco. That means po pwede nang dalhin, po pwede nang i-export lahat ng produkto ng Pilipinas sa US except lamang po for rice, sugar, and tobacco. That's your Payne-Aldrich Act. Ang Bell Trade mo naman, this is the specifying policy governing trade between the Philippines and the United States following independence of the Philippines from the United States. So this one came after the Commonwealth period. Okay, so after the Commonwealth period, they have made some policies with regards to the trade between the Philippines and the US dahil nga free na tayo from the US. Under Woods-Simmons Act, this is the act that has removed quotas placed on Philippine imports to the United States and more or less installing a policy of free trade. Okay, so wala nang quota on Philippine imports na dinadala, no, yung pinapapasok sa US. And of course, your Hair Horse Cutting Act, this promised Philippine independence after 10 years, hence the term cutting. Okay, so this is the cutting our ties of being dependent on the US, Hair Horse Cutting Act. But of course, the correct answer here is, nakikita niyo naman, the correct answer is for number 12, that's letter C, Underwood-Simmons Act po. Letter C, Underwood-Simmons Act. It has removed quotas placed on Philippine imports to the United States and more or less installing a policy of free trade. Okay? So, yung Payne-Aldrich Act mo, free entry of Philippine products lamang. Ganun din ng US products in the Philippines, that Payne-Aldrich Act. Okay, Bell Trade mo naman, this is right after the Commonwealth period, and then they've made a trade policy, okay, between the Philippines and the US. Hair Horse Cutting Act, this promised us that we are going to be free after 10 years, the transition period, which is called the Commonwealth period. Okay, so letter C po, ang tamang sagot. Letter C, that's number 12, letter C, Underwood-Simmons Act. All right, now we go to number 13. Which power of the state enables it to impose charge of burden upon persons' property or property rights for the use and support of the government in its discharge of appropriate functions? Letter A, eminent domain. Letter B, value added tax. Letter C, expropriation. Letter D, taxation. Okay, what's the correct answer for number 13? From Hong Kong, Ma'am Samantha Moralde. Shout out sa aking beautiful tita from Iloilo, from Tigbawan. Tita Bagobo Rebel, maraming salamat for watching, for visiting our Facebook page. Ligwak, sabi ni Sir Jonos. Watching from Cagayan, Sir Christopher Suyo Bakay, maraming salamat po for starting a watch party. Ganon din kay Ma'am Sam Moralde, thank you for starting a watch party. Watching from Davao City, Ma'am Rizel Maligon, Sir Jesus Sabakse, thank you po for starting a watch party. Good evening from Pagadian, that's from Sir James Rodney Bongabong Balani. Watching from Iloilo, Ma'am Emeline Hondonero. Greetings from Bohol, Ma'am Malupon. Watching from Zamboanga City, Ma'am Amiel Celine Constantino. Good evening. Oh, Sir Lemric Villaflor, a good friend of mine, used to be my co-worker. Isa siyang singer. Okay, meron po, I think Sir Lemric Villaflor also has a Facebook page, and he used to perform in Showtime. Sir Henel Guardia, our good friend, maraming salamat po for starting a watch party. He's watching from KSA. Okay, number 13. Which power of the state enables it to impose charge of burden upon persons' property or property rights for the use and support of the government in its discharge of appropriate functions? Okay, the correct answer here, of course, would be letter D. That's taxation. Okay, your hint here is the government or the state imposes charge of burden upon persons, property, or property rights. So that's taxation. We cannot choose letter B because value added tax, that's your VAT. This is just one type of tax that we pay. Eminent domain is the same as letter C. So letter C po, expropriation and eminent domain, they are the same. Okay, so that is the government can get a certain property. If it is going to be used by more people, then the government has the right to get your property. But of course, you should have your remuneration. You should be paid. Okay, so meron din dapat payment. Okay, so number 13, that's letter D, taxation. Number 14, which best describes the division of the legislature into the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay, now medyo madugo ito ngayon, no? Medyo controversial. Okay, your House of Representatives, now what you call your Congress, and the Senate. What is the term we use for the division of legislature? When you say legislature, of course, these are the bodies of the government that make laws. Okay, so there are two branches here, your Senate and your House of Representatives or your Congress. And sa ngayon nga, yung problema nila, yung issue nila is yung term sharing between the two islands. Okay, ayaw bumaba ng tagatagig, no? May tagatagig tayo dito kanina. Okay, the correct answer, of course, would be bicameralism. Okay, bi, of course, means two. Okay, so bicameralism is the correct answer. We can choose bipartisanship, although there's also the prefix bi, which means two, because this means there are two parties. There are two parties, bipartisanship. This is what happens in the US. Meron lamang dalawang party, the Republicans and the Democrats. Okay, but of course, the correct answer here would be letter D, bicameralism. All right, 15. What keys are used to make the text bold? Is it letter A, Control plus X, letter B, Control plus O, letter C, Control plus V, or letter D, Control plus B? Okay, let's take a look at some of the comments that we have here. Ma'am Cristel and Canlas, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ma'am Millicent Leandroon Rendon, thank you for starting a watch party. Ma'am Jacqueline Lee Ontalan, thank you po for starting a watch party. Shout out sa mga taga Zamboanga del Sur, that's coming from Sir Jonas. Watching from Balay-Balay Bukidnon, Sir Joel Paelmao. From Bohol, Sir Aki Kahes, thank you po for starting a watch party. From Masbate City, Happy Teacher's Day, mga kagurong Pinoy. That's from Sir Ramiel Kwambot. From Fami, Laguna, Ma'am Ameline Linga. Thank you for starting a watch party, Tita Bagobo Rebel. Sir Stephen de la Cruz is watching with us. Okay, he used to be our student, of course, now a licensed professional teacher. From Pili Kamsur, Happy Teacher's Day. That's from Really Beltran das Marinas. From Cotabato City, Sir Rech Bernabe. Okay, now going back to our question. What keys are used to make the text bold? Of course, the correct answer here would be letter D. That's Control B. Control B po would be the correct answer. Control B, that is going to make the text bold. But of course, you need to select muna yung text, no? And then you press Control B. Control X means to cut. Control O is to open. And Control V, that is to paste. Okay, so cut and paste usually, no? Control X and Control V. These are the commands that we usually use to cut and paste. But of course, to make your text bold, you use Control B. Control B is the correct answer. That's letter D. Now we go to number 16, which is the brain of the computer. Okay, the brain of the computer, is it the RAM, program, CPU, password? What's the correct answer? Many people on YouTube are answering letter C. Watching from Cagayan de Oro City, Ma'am Jean Marie, Bohos, Austria. Thank you po for starting a watch party and for sharing the video. Watching from Israel, Sir KMD Offsprings. Ingat po kayo dyan. Okay, of course, the correct answer here would be the Central Processing Unit or CPU. Letter C is the correct answer. Letter C, the CPU, Central Processing Unit. The RAM, of course, ang RAM mo naman, this is your random access memory. So memory naman ito ng computer. Program, we know the meaning of program. These are of program. This is the software that we have. Password, of course, alam niyo naman kung ano meaning ng password. Ito yung ginagawa mo. Ito yung pinapalitan mo para hindi ma-access ng girlfriend mo ang inyong messenger. No? So your password. Okay, so CPU, letter C, is the correct answer for number 16. Number 17, activities connected by a computer system are described as letter A, virtual, letter B, actual, letter C, physical, letter D, framework. Happy Teacher's Day from Digo City, National High School, Digo City, Sir Larry Librando. Sir Sean Anthony Larazi, thank you po for starting a watch party. Yes, Sir Soy ESOy. We have our live streams po Saturdays and Sundays, 7 p.m. Okay, now of course, the correct answer here would be letter A, virtual. Napapanahon din ito. Okay, ito yung ginagawa ng mga estudyante natin ngayon, no? At of course, our teachers, virtual teaching and learning. So letter A, that's virtual. Virtual po is the correct answer for 17. We go to number 18. The sum total of a person's efforts to cope with stressful situations in life is called letter A, reaction, letter B, defense mechanism, letter C, anger, letter D, emotion. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 18? Sir Jaime Liguid, thank you po for starting a watch party. Ganon din kay Ma'am Jen Gandeza Domingo. Watching from Pangasinan, Sir Delson Elizaga de la Cruz. All right, again, please don't forget to react to our video. Click the thumbs up sign, the heart sign, okay, the care sign. Wag lamang po yung angry, no? Tag a friend, start a watch party, share our video. Please don't also forget to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, so we have already reached 10,000 followers on Facebook. So that means we can already have our in-stream ads later. Now we are just going to set up everything. And of course, please do follow us on Instagram. On Instagram, which we are at Gurong Pinoy PH. And also on TikTok, we are at Gurong Pinoy. Okay? Now, what do you think is the correct answer for 18? The correct answer here would be letter B. Defense mechanism is the correct answer. So, defense mechanism is the general term. Kaya nga lang, nagkaroon na ng negative na connotation itong defense mechanism. When we say defense mechanism, we think that this person becomes defensive. Okay? Defense mechanism is just coping mechanism of a person. Okay, so defense mechanism is the correct answer, not just reaction. The reaction, of course, that's just how you react to something. Anger is just one type of emotion that we have. Emotion, of course, are the things that we feel. For example, anger, love, hatred, happiness, and so on. But for number 18, letter B is the correct answer. Now we go to number 19. The study of human behavior is ethics, morality, philosophy, or psychology. What do you think is the correct answer? Right, we're already at 19 seconds to the last question for our general education. Sir Christopher Suyo Bakay, thank you po for tagging your friends. All right, now many people on YouTube are answering letter D. Daming bonus question, sabi ni Sir Viod. Okay, now the question here is the study of human behavior is, of course, the correct answer will be letter D, that's psychology. Ethics and morality, they're concerned with what's right and wrong. Philosophy, of course, that is your guiding principle in life. Okay, guiding principles in life. So, of course, your answer for number 19, study of human behavior, is letter D, psychology. All right, number 20, last one for our general education. The part of the body that controls emotion is kidney, endocrine gland, the heart, or the lungs. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 20? Sir John Real Silosha. Used to be our student, now licensed professional teacher. Thank you for watching, sir, and for starting a watch party. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for question number 20? The part of the body that controls emotion is letter A, kidney, letter B, endocrine gland, letter C, heart, letter D, lungs. Many people on YouTube are answering with letter B. Sir Franz Duo, my good friend, used to be co-teacher in Ateneo de Iloilo. Welcome po, sir. Okay, again, going back to the last question that we have here for question number 20 for general education. The part of the body that controls emotion is it letter A, kidney, letter B, endocrine gland, letter C, heart, or letter D, lungs? The correct answer, of course, would be letter B, that's your endocrine gland. Okay, so endocrine gland, that's the correct answer, of course, because it is actually the hypothalamus, a part of your brain, which controls your emotion. Hypothalamus is, of course, part of your endocrine system. Okay, so these are the glands. No, endocrine gland siya. It is a type of a gland that secretes hormones into your body. Okay, so letter B po is the correct answer, not the kidney. The kidney does not control your emotion. The kidney, of course, produces your urine, yung ihi. Heart naman, of course, that is just part of your circulatory system, also your muscular system. The heart is that muscle that pumps blood. Okay, it circulates blood all over our body. The lungs, of course, that's part of your respiratory system. So yung question mo, bakit po nung iniwan niya ako, umiiyak ako, sumasakit yung heart ko? Okay, kaya siguro yung answer nyo ay heart, letter C, dahil nung umi-emote ka, nung iniwan ka niya, no, ay sumasakit yung heart mo habang umiiyak ka. Dahil po, of course, your hypothalamus, that part of your body that controls your emotion, is also controlling your heart. Okay, so sumisikip yung dibdib mo, sumasakit yung heart mo habang tumutulo yung luha mo, no, nung ayaw na niya sa'yo dahil nga kinokontrol siya, ang emotions mo ay kinokontrol ng iyong endocrine gland, of course, specifically your hypothalamus. So number 20, letter B, is the correct answer. Okay, so letter B po ang tamang sagot. All right, so some of you are already sending your scores. Please take note of your scores, and of course, we are going to get the sum of your GenEd and your Prof Ed scores later, and I will be asking you to comment that or to reply that to your comment of your answers last night. All right, so that ends our general education. We end with general education here, and I am going to end the live stream here. I am going to open the next live stream, which is our professional education. Okay, see you in our Prof Ed discussion in a few minutes. I'll be opening it. Bye.